Today, we examine the question, why is it that states, countries, nations, they rise and they fall? Okay, so let's start off with an example that you know pretty well. So this is the Warring States period. And at this point in history, there are many powerful states. Okay, so for example, the Chu, the Zhao, the Wei. Okay, and if at this point in history, and this is about 250 BCE, I ask you to figure out, using game theory, which state would unite China and become the first great empire of China. Well, there are certain metrics that you would use to figure out which state would win out, okay? So obviously, you would look at population. Okay, who has the largest population? Okay, so the question of mass. Second question that you would look at is maybe resources, right? And resources, it's basically just farmland. So you would look at basically which areas had the most rivers, okay? And so you would be like, okay, well, this area, looks very strategic, as is this area, as is this area, okay? And then you would also look at maybe technology. So basically, which state has the most scientists, which state has the most advanced literature, arts. And then from these metrics, then you could do some analysis and figure out that maybe Chu would conquer all of China at some point, okay? But at no point, using any metrics, would you assume that Qing would conquer China. And there are certain reasons why. First of all, it's in mountains, so it's pretty poor. Second of all, it's pretty far away from the rivers and trade routes. And third of all, it's pretty isolated, okay? So you could not possibly imagine that the Qing dynasty would conquer all of China. But in fact, it is the Qing that would come and conquer all of China. And not only that, but if you look at most of human history, this pattern repeats itself. If you look at a region, the strongest nation does not come out on top. It's usually the weakest, most marginalized area that will eventually come and conquer the entire territory and create an empire. Okay? So clearly, the way that we understand history, it's problematic. It's wrong.